One of the researchers, Tim Takaro, Professor of Health Sciences at SFU. Tim, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Sonia.
All right, so what was the reason for this study and what did you want to find out?
So we're trying to estimate what is the exposure from flaring at the proposed Woodfiber LNG plant near Squamish. So we know that flaring has many harmful emissions. And we also know that the industry has historically underestimated what those emissions are. But now we have a new tool, satellite-based analysis of these flares that tell us the volume of gas that's emitted. And that's how we know that industry has historically underestimated the emissions, because we can actually see them in real time. And so for the wood fiber plant, we're taking what the industry said they would be emitting and extrapolating based on all of the other plants that you can see in the satellite data to show whether or not that is a real number or an incorrect number.
Okay, so basically taking the estimates that Woodfiber LNG is putting out, but then also using existing plants and their emissions to compare.
That's right.
And before we get a little bit deeper, can you explain to us what flaring is and how it's used in the process?
Yeah, so I think many people probably have seen these flares driving over the Second Narrows Bridge, for example. You can see the refinery often is flaring. It's basically a tall stack with a flame going out. And it's burning off excess methane and other gases. And a lot of these are toxic.
All right, now we know that construction has already begun at the Woodfiber LNG facility in Squamish. We've seen pictures of that right now. And we do have a response from the Woodfiber LNG saying that Woodfiber LNG is designed to minimize the need for flaring and will only flare in emergency situations or during certain maintenance procedures. During the regulatory process, it was determined that there would be no significant impact to local air quality due to the operation of the Woodfiber LNG facility. What do you make of that?
Well, it's standard industry line, and they have said this for years in other facilities, and then it's not the way it turns out to be.
So what are the concerns for people's health here?
Yeah, so flaring has been associated with low birth weight babies, and that's been associated with asthma exacerbations and mortality, increased mortality, particularly infant mortality. So it's serious. The location of these facilities should not be where people live.
This one is going to be in Squamish. We know that there is a community there. It is a smaller community. What concerns do you have as this project moves forward?
Yeah, the notable thing about this facility near Squamish is the shape of the airshed. So you can think of an airshed like a watershed. All of the water that goes from the high parts.
I guess it's a bit like a bowl there.
It is exactly like a bowl, and that's the problem, because we already know, I mean, even last week, there was an air quality alert for Whistler. So we already know that this particular valley has difficulties sometimes with air quality. When there's wildfires, it's really bad sometimes. But the traffic and other industry also can contribute to bad air when the air is kept in that bowl. And that's happens when there's an inversion, for example. The temperature is what keeps the air stagnant, and then it can build up over days and become quite toxic, and that's why we get these air quality alerts already, even without this plant going online.
All right. Well, it certainly is very interesting research. I want to thank you very much for joining us today to explain some of the concerns.
Thank you, Sonia. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right. Still ahead, Claire Newell will be here.